Hello, I'm Paul Pluta and welcome to Paul Pluta Prestige. Today I'd like to talk about the fabulous Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date. And this has been a personal favourite of mine for many years. And what I love about the Reverso Grand Date is the fact that it's just such a gorgeous looking piece, and it's got some really useful features and complications on it. And it's also very modern. It's quite a big watch, and it's perfect for this world we live in where big is better. And although I really don't support the huge size in watches, I do think this is a really gorgeous looking piece. And the Reverso from Jaeger-LeCoultre is an all-time classic. It's a piece which is famous for being the watch of choice of polo players when it came out in the 30s. And it's a very much an Art Deco classic. And it's just such a beautiful piece to have. And the thing about the Reverso is, in my opinion, I've always felt that the Reverso should be steel, it should be manual wind, and it should be on a leather strap. And my Reverso Grand Date does all these things. The reason why I say this is because the Reverso Grand Date was originally a sports watch, and what better metal to incorporate sports use than steel. Steel in the 30s was also very hard to work with, and it just gives it a charm that I do love a gold piece, and I do love yellow gold and white gold, and also of course rose gold, but I think the Reverso works best in steel. The other thing I love about this modern Reverso Grand Date is the fact that it has the most beautiful display back. And here you can see that gorgeous Jaeger-LeCoultre movement. And this is a very special movement. It's a manual wind movement, but it features an 8-day power reserve. And I believe the power reserve itself will go slightly over 9 because it was originally going to be a 10-day, but they pulled it back to 8. And it's just such a gorgeous movement. It's got a double barrel. That's right, a double barrel. And the interesting thing is, to wind this up to full charge, it's like winding a normal piece up. So you're actually getting many more days use out of it. And I think it's just a gorgeous piece. The front of the watch itself, what I really love about it is the fact that it has a gorgeous power reserve. It's got the sub-seconds to the side, and it's also got a 2-disc date system. That's right, so it's not like a conventional date. The 1 will stay there all along, and the numbers will change, and then it changes to a 2, a 3, and a 0. So it's really quite an interesting type of system that they've deployed here. And Reverso itself is a brand legend for Jaeger-LeCoultre, and it's recently enjoyed the 80th anniversary, and there's been a lot of interest in the Reverso. They've released the tribute watch, and I've got to say I've looked at a few tributes and they're beautiful, but I think myself, my Reverso of choice would still have to be the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date in steel. And I say that with a lot of affection to the tribute and to other Reversos, but it's just such a useful piece. It's a nice size. What they have done, the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso uses the golden ratio, which is a set ratio for the side to the top. So it's sort of how the rectangle shape, the proportions of it, and they've maintained that. And although I don't mind the Squadra, I don't think it has that class that the Reverso has. And Reversos are a great piece. They're a really modern, funky piece, but they've got that Art Deco charm to it. And one thing I really love about my piece is the lovely Art Deco Arabic numerals that they've put on the dial, and they're just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And I think the whole package works. I've seen this piece on a steel bracelet, and I got to be honest and say that I really do prefer it on a leather strap. And I think Jaeger-LeCoultre, they do make a lovely bracelet. It's a mesh type bracelet, but I think this piece works better on a leather strap. It's more traditional. It's got a lovely Jaeger-LeCoultre deployment buckle, and I myself think that is the perfect men's watch. And I've owned this for a while. They're not a common model. I've seen a few around the traps, but they're not a super common model. They're certainly not like a two-tone Submariner or a sub, like an Explorer or GMT. They're nowhere near as common, and they've got that kind of exclusive niche without being in the Patek type range. And Reverso is such an iconic watch. I think it's the piece. If you're a Jaeger-LeCoultre fan, you've got to have a Reverso in your collection. And I was so impressed with the Reverso Grand Date that I bought my wife a manual wind piece. I got her a mechanical ladies piece, and it's got the beautiful shadow dial. I'm going to make another video about that shortly, so stay tuned for that. But yes, I think Reverso itself, it's a great watch. I love it. I think it's a great thing to behold, and I think, in the years to come, you look at the iconic type of pieces, I think Reverso is a shape which will always be there. I'm Paul Pluta from Paul Pluta Prestige. Tell me what you think.